So hey guys, how are you all? Welcome to. So we are back with a brand new movie on what if Naruto and Sasuke was got power of Shinigami movie, but before we start, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now let's begin the story. Sasuke heaved a painfully shuddered breath. He knew he was dying. The burning pain from the embedded senbon needles were starting to go numb and his consciousness was slipping. Sasuke looked up into Naruto's face. This boy, this golden boy he was going to die for, and deep down the young Avenger didn't regret it, but there was just one thing he did regret. He's still out there, Sasuke managed to choke out. What? Naruto asked, unsure. His blue eyes were filled with unshed tears. My brother, Sasuke explained weakly. I promised myself I wouldn't die until I've killed him. His dream now would never be realized. He had given up his dream for Naruto's. You better become Hokage, Dobi. Looking up desperately in a silent prayer, Sasuke urged, Naruto, don't let your dream die. And that's when the raven-haired boy went limp. Sasuke suddenly found himself settled overhead, looking down into the barrage of ice mirrors to see Naruto hugging his body. Sasuke felt nothing. All senses of time and space had left him. Right now it felt like a single second could stretch on into eternity. It didn't take a genius like him to realize. Damn. Sasuke bit out. I'm really dead. Then darkness fell like a shadow. The door was shut to the world he left behind. In that darkness was a ghostly white figure, beautiful and terrifying to behold. Sasuke's eyes widened in fear because the one who stood before him was the inevitable. The being that every living creature will have to meet, no matter how rich, how powerful, or how wise they may. No one could escape a meeting with Shinigami-sama. The pale demon of death removed its knife from its mouth and smiled at Sasuke. Or at least attempted to. Even the most bloodthirsty villain could have pissed in their pants at the sight. Hello Sasuke Uchiha. He greeted. How unfortunate for you to see me so young. Shinigami-sama. Shinigami looked at the boy nonchalantly as if he knew what Sasuke was about to say. It's not like he hadn't heard it trillion times. So you want to live longer, Shinigami stated, flatly, sounding bored. He saw the incredulous look on Sasuke's face. Don't give me that look, human. I'm a kami. I can read your feeble mind. I know what you were about to say. Sasuke was about to say something else when the Lord of Death cut him off again. You know nearly everyone begs to live longer, so pray tell, why should I give you what you ask? Sasuke was about to answer before the Shinigami cut him off for the third time. And don't say because I'm the last Uchiha line, Shinigami-sama said. First of all, that was the only excuse I got from hundreds of Uchihas on the night of the massacre 6 years ago. Sasuke twitched. The demon scoffed. I had let a lot of more powerful clans die than your watered-down copycat freaky eye, so technically you are nothing special to me, but then again, heh. The Shinigami smiled cruelly at the Uchiha. Do you want to cheat death by wearing a bra? He asked. Sasuke looked at the Death Lord incredulously. What? You heard me, Shinigami-sama replied. How would that change anything? Sasuke yelled angrily. Foolish little one, the Shinigami said. Suddenly a large scroll appeared in his hand. Unraveling the list, Sasuke spotted several names, including his own. Two of them Sasuke recognized. Gado Higurashi and Zabuza Momochi. The last one he didn't, Haku Seka. This list not only contains your name but everything about you. Heck, even the hairs on your head are numbered. Okay, but what does this have to do with me cross-dressing? Sasuke asked flatly. The Shinigami grinned mischievously. In order to deny your death, you must simply not match the description of the Sasuke Uchiha on my list. Sasuke blanched at the simplicity. If cheating death is so easy, how come other people don't try it? He demanded. The Shinigami shrugged. Most people don't ask, they ask for mercy, not how to add more years onto their time clocks. Others generally accept their fates or do my personal favorite. Piss in their pants at the sight of me. Sasuke raised his eyebrow at the Shinigami. He didn't find him so intimidating anymore. What a weirdo. I heard that, the demon said. So what do I have to change about myself? Sasuke asked. The Shinigami rolled his eyes. I repeat, wear a bra. Need a better hint? Swap out your magic wand for the Mound of Venus. Why, you're saying you'll let me live if I change into a girl? Sasuke confirmed. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Precisely. The Shinigami held up his list again. The Sasuke Uchiha on my list is male. If you are female, then you are not the one on my list to die. Savvy? Sasuke wasn't big on becoming a woman. He had a clan to restore and the idea of popping them out himself didn't appeal to him. Not only that, he had spent his whole life as a male. How was he going to adapt being a— Wait, what the hell was he thinking? This was no time to complain. He would get a second chance at life. becoming a woman was better than dying, that's for sure. I'll do it. Sasuke agreed. The pale demon grinned like Christmas had come early, a very unpleasant and creepy smile. Good. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Why is he so adamant about me living? What is he? Simple. The Shinigami said, cutting into Sasuke's thoughts. There is a certain person who keeps disappearing off my list time and time again, and it annoys me. Frankly, I want that bastard dead so I can use him as my new chew toy. He growled venomously with his face contorted in rage. Sasuke flinched back in fear. And you think that you can bust the cap on him? Yes. Fair deal, don't you think? Sasuke nodded. Who's this person you want taken care of? It would have been a wonderful thing if it happened to be his brother. He is a man of many identities. A puppeteer, if you will, behind the scenes of many scandals, but his name remains the same, Madara Uchiha. The Death Lord answered. Sasuke was shocked. He had never heard of him. More importantly, this person was an Uchiha. Probably the last of his clan. Suddenly Sasuke heard footsteps coming his way. He turned around to see the boy he and Naruto had been fighting on the bridge, only this time without a mask. He recognized his face from the forest a few days ago. Ah, Haku Seka. Right on time, the Shinigami said. Shinigami-sama. The boy bowed humbly. It seems I lost track of time, how ironic, the Shinigami said, turning back to Sasuke. Remember our agreement, farewell Sasuke-chan. And everything went dark. Sakura looked down at Sasuke's lifeless body. Her dream had also died along with him. Sakura sobbed. She collapsed on Sasuke's chest and cried a waterfall of tears. Sakura, Sasuke moaned. Can you get off? You're heavy. Shocked, Sakura sat up to look down to see Sasuke's black eyes blinking up at her. You're alive. Her dreams have been resurrected. Oh Sasuke. Sakura cried out as she glommed Sasuke. Squash. Oh. That hurts, Sakura, a very feminine voice howled. Sakura paused and slowly moved back. Sasuke-kun. How strange it felt like, Sakura asked, confused. Her jaw fell open when she got a good look at the young Avenger. What are you staring at? Sasuke trailed. Looking down at his chest, he saw two fleshy mounds pressing forward in his shirt. He could even see the nipples outlined under the fabric. Sasuke's eyes widened in horror. Oh. My. Kami. I have breast. Sasuke looked back up into the shocked face of Sakura. Next to her stood their client Tazuna, who was also gaping at him in shock. A light blush painted his face. Sasuke glared at him and made a pitiful attempt to cover his breast. Sasuke. What's happened to you? Sakura said, going into denial. This can't be real. Sakura shakily reached out and squeezed one of Sasuke's breasts. Sasuke yelped before slapping her partner's hand away. Don't do that, Sakura, she said angrily. Sakura numbly stared at her hand. Oh my Kami, that felt real, almost like a breast. She thought frantically. No, it can't be. Sasuke-kun can't be a. Sasuke's mind was currently spinning. It was real. It was all real. His death, the bargain, everything. Sasuke. Sakura said, frantically calling Sasuke out of his, her thoughts. What's happening? Why are you a girl? Think. Sasuke commanded herself. This was bad. It's obviously not a good answer to say that he made a bargain with the devil. I've always been a girl, Sasuke stated simply. Sakura looked shaken by the news. Tazuna was still staring wide-eyed at him, but at least he was relaxing, as if he was considering his declaration true. You, but I knew you were a boy. Sakura persisted. I liked you, Sasuke-kun. Me, Ino, and all the girls liked you, and I'm a girl. Sasuke stressed. That's the reason why I've never responded to any of your advances. Sakura flinched back. I have always been a tomboy. Sasuke continued. I used a light genjutsu to cover my female attributes, she said with a hint of finality. Sasuke had to pat herself on the back. She didn't know he could be such of an effective liar. Sakura's shocked features turned into a hurt expression. Her dreams and future were crumbling. No, she was supposed to be the mother of Sasuke's babies, be his wife, his lover. No, it was all now a fairy tale rundown. Sakura, help me up, Sasuke ordered, snapping the girl out of her anguish. Sakura nodded feebly and helped Sasuke to her feet. Naruto nearly burst into tears of joy when he saw Sasuke standing there beside Sakura, alive. His cut-up face broke into a wide relieved smile. Sasuke looked away to keep herself from blushing. Holding one hand firmly over her breast, she raised her free hand in a weak, hey. As the group made their way back to Tazuna's house for a little R&R, Naruto noticed something was different about Sasuke. His rival suddenly looked, well, smaller and more girly. Long dark eyelashes, a slender frame, a longer neck. Naruto also noticed how baggy the bastard's shirt looked. His pants, however, looked kind of strained around the hips. Naruto chuckled to himself. It looked like the sulky prince had to start pushing away from the dinner table. "What are you laughing at, idiot?" Sasuke spat. Naruto blinked. He was unaware he had been staring at Sasuke. "Wait. What the? Your voice sounds like a chick's," Naruto said. "Because I am a chick, fool." Sasuke snapped and limbed faster. That got Kakashi's attention. The one-eyed ninja looked over at Sasuke inquisitively. What?" Naruto said. He grabbed Sasuke and turned him around. "Stop lying, bastard, only girls have breast of which you don't." Wah, Naruto trailed. His hand was firmly placed on Sasuke's left boob. "You do have?" Sasuke stared at Naruto blankly. "Tch, idiot." Naruto was frozen in shock. His hand not leaving Sasuke's round breast. It's real, OWW. "You pervert." Sakura screamed as she bashed in Naruto's head. "Don't touch Sasuke like that, or any girl for that matter." "Okay," Kakashi said slowly. He could feel a headache coming on, and it wasn't from Charka exhaustion. "When did this?" He pointed at Sasuke's ample breast. "Happen?" Because the last thing he knew, he had 2 boys and 1 girl on Team 7. "It's always been here," Sasuke answered. "I've hidden it with a hinge since I was 5, she lied without batting an eye. "HN, Kakashi said as his eyes squinted in suspicion. Sasuke sighed happily. Heaven. This was heavenly. Once the comradeship had returned to the Tazuna residence, Sasuke was immediately treated by Tsunami and told to relax in a hot bath mixed with herbs. It was very soothing. Sasuke knew she would look like a boiled lobster by the time she stepped out, but at least she would feel better. After soaking for at least 40 minutes, Sasuke decided to get out. Just as Sasuke stood up carefully to climb out, a blonde enigma walked in. Sasuke. Naruto breathed. Blood squirted from his nose. "Naruto. You idiot," Sasuke hollered, stumbling back into the water. "WHWW what? Why are you doing here?" Naruto said frantically. "Why are you such an idiot?" Sasuke yelled back. "Stop gaping at me already. You really are a pervert." "PP pervert." Naruto bellowed. He quickly wrapped a towel around his waist. "I'm no pervert. Besides, you got a good view of my ass too, so who's the pervert now?" he asked. "Oh please," Sasuke said as she rolled her eyes. "Don't flatter yourself, Dobi. Don't think you are all that in a box of Pocky either. You tatas are the smallest I've ever seen. Heck, they're even smaller than Sakura's." Suddenly the aura of death filled the bathroom. Too. Naruto nearly pissed on himself. Slowly he turned around to see the ugliest impersonation of inner Sakura, looking like a banshee from hell. Sasuke meanwhile sank lower into the bathtub. Even if Sakura's rage wasn't directed at her, it was still pretty damn scary. Naruto was nearly tripping over his feet as he backed away terrified. Saku. You peeping pervert, and since when was my chest up for discussion?" Wait, I can explain," Naruto pleaded. "Explain it to my fist, you creep." "Gah. I apologize on the behalf of my team for your bathroom, Tazuna-san," Kakashi said humbly. "It's all right," Tazuna said good-naturedly. "The bathroom can be repaired." "There, all finished," Tsunami said as she helped Naruto up. The poor boy was covered in bandages from head to toe and had his left arm in a sling. Sasuke looked at Naruto with no sympathy whatsoever as he hobbled to the table. Sakura felt her eyebrow tick in annoyance at the sight of the Kyuubi container. "So," Kakashi said causally, "why aren't you putting the hinge back up?" he asked Sasuke. Sasuke shrugged. "Cat's out of the bag, there's no point now." "Only with us. We'll keep your secret," Kakashi said with a smile. Sasuke didn't answer. In truth, he was really weak in genjutsu, so casting a hinge was nearly impossible for him, and Kakashi obviously knew this. "I don't want to anymore," Sasuke said with a hint of finality. Kakashi eyed him, her for a moment before smiling. "Okie dokie, Sasuke-chan. I will not kill him, I will not kill him, I will not kill him," Sasuke repeated to herself. Inari helped spoon Naruto his dinner since he was completely incapable, courtesy of Sakura. Speaking of her, the strawberry-haired ninja was sighing miserably non-stop for over 30 minutes. Despite the girl's violent tendencies, Naruto was still concerned for her. "What's wrong with Sakura-chan?" Naruto whispered to Kakashi-sensei. "Nothing," Kakashi replied simply. "Oh," Naruto trailed uncertainly. Turning his glance onto the sulking girl, Kakashi inwardly snorted. Yeah, nothing, expect her dream of mothering Uchiha babies going down the drain, he thought to himself, then shrugged. Opening up his Icha Paradise, he began to read chapter 14. Well, maybe she'll concentrate on improving her ninja skills rather than scheming how to get into Sasuke's pants. Meanwhile, in the other world, and that was the highlight of my day, Shikigami-sama concluded as he finished his tale. He and the Lord of Foxes, Inari, were currently sitting in the common room drinking green tea and eating chocolate-covered biscuits. So you mean it wasn't Sasuke Uchiha's time to go? Inari-sama asked. Nope. Then why did you bother the poor lad? The Shinigami shrugged. I wanted to toy with something while I waited to collect the souls of Gato, Haku and Zabuza. He sipped his tea. Inari sighed. Shinigami, you are a sadistic hellion, he stated flatly before eating a cookie. Playing with mortals is beneath you. They're all miserable little creatures. Don't make things harder for them. I did the brat a favor, Shinigami-sama retorted shortly. The Sharingan can only be passed down maternally. How's that for helping mankind? Another Sharingan-wielding generation, whoopee-doo. The Fox Lord shook his head. You still shouldn't have intervened, he said with a hint of finality. That's against Izanagi-sama's policy, he said. The Death Lord waved him off. Bah, it was personal business too. His dark eyes narrowed as he said in a grave tone, I was serious about the Madara Uchiha part. Things were, complicated when Team 7 returned to Konoha. As soon as news broke out that Sasuke Uchiha was a girl, nearly every girl was wearing black and in mourning over this new revelation. Sasuke shrugged it off and could care less. At least the girls weren't stalking him anymore, but then something far worse happened. Marriage contracts. Never in her entire life had Sasuke received so many written marriage proposals. Most were from Konohaian clans, the rest were international. Some reached as far as Kumo. It had gotten so bad that Sasuke even refrained going to her P.O. box until one day a very sullen mailman appeared at her front door with 5 bags worth of scrolls. Sakura was too busy mourning to care, but Naruto found the situation hilarious and went out of his way to tease Sasuke about it any chance he got. Kakashi even had the nerve to show Sasuke a scene in his Icha Paradise, saying, this is what you need to do if you. His explanation didn't get so far at seeing Sasuke's repulsed face. Despite these annoying tendencies, things were slowly getting back to normal at a snail's pace. Finally, Sasuke thought. She sighed in relief as she walked away from her team for the day. Her partners were so annoying lately, well, more annoying than usual. Naruto was still being a competitive idiot, as always, and Sakura wouldn't leave her alone. As usual. But in a different way. The pink-haired girl talked about nothing, expect fashion, guys and girly stuff that Sasuke preferred never to think about. Kakashi, of course, was no help. Hello. Sasuke-san. A voice greeted her suddenly. Sasuke looked up. HN? It was a raven-haired teenager. His short spiky hair came down to his shoulders. His vivid green eyes really helped his features stand out. On his brow was a leaf nin forehead protector. He was also wearing a ninja vest. I am Ryofu Aodoki, he bowed. Okay. Looking sheepish, he asked, I was wondering if you would like to go out with me sometime? Not again, Sasuke inwardly groaned. This is the third guy today. Honestly, I know I'm pretty, but this is ridiculous. They're probably just after my family name. I don't even know you. Sasuke deadpanned. You could get to know me, Ryofu suggested cheerfully. No, I don't think so, Sasuke said. Besides, you are probably too old for me. Ryofu's eyebrow ticked. I'm only 18, and I'm 14. Leave me alone, you pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. Whatever, I'm concentrating on my ninja career anyway. Sasuke sighed. As boring and unfulfilling it is at times, it's better than dating you. Now hold on, get lost, but Sasuke flashed her Sharingan at Ryofu. With a gulp, the older male moved back. Oh, okay, sure, well then I wish you good day, Sasuke-san. He bowed politely before excusing himself. Sasuke sighed in relief. Well, at least that guy knows how to take a hike. You better put him down or I'm gonna beat you up, yelled an annoying, familiar voice. Sasuke groaned. Now what's going on with the Dobi? She had half a mind to just keep walking home, but strangely found herself walking back toward the scene. When she arrived, Sasuke perched herself in a tree. Below her was Naruto, Sakura, and 3 little kids facing off against 2 Suna ninjas. One was a girl with 4 pigtails, had the biggest fan Sasuke had ever seen strapped onto her back. Her partner was wearing all black and with purple war paint on his face. He was currently choking the life out of the kid currently clenched in his fist. Naruto continued to yell and threaten the bully, but things were just getting worse. Sasuke rolled her eyes. TCH, figures Naruto couldn't take care of himself. That loser is so useless, she hissed under her breath. She took out some rocks she had in her pocket. She threw one directly at the Sand Nin, forcing him to drop the annoying brat he was choking. Ow! What the? Kankuro looked up to see who had dared to hit him only to see Sasuke staring down at him. Kankuro's anger deflated. The puppet master in training could swear that he could hear some cheesy violin music playing in the background. An angel had just smote him from heaven. The girl was just his type. Badass, independent and hot, icy hot. Nice. The village hidden in the leaves really had some hot babes. Get lost, Sand Nin. The raven-haired beauty told him coldly. Choking Konohaian citizens is a big no, no. Moegi, the little girl with two thick huge pigtails that seemed to defy gravity, looked up at Sasuke with admiration. Wow, she's so cool. I want to be a kunoichi just like her one day. Ah boss, you suck. Konohamaru complained to Naruto. You're letting a girl show you up. Yeah, sniff. The dorky boy named Udon added in his 2 cents. That's so uncool. Oh come on you two, like I'll ever let that happen. Naruto tried to reason. Sasuke Teme had the advantage because she was lucky enough to get the drop on him, that's all. You guys understand, don't ya? Suddenly the three of them heard cracking knuckles. Oh I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can you please explain to me why it's uncool for talented kunoichi to show up an idiot, boys? Sakura asked, creepily calm, but there was a dangerous fire burning in her eyes. Meanwhile they were thinking, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run away. Well? Sakura asked again. The three boys shook their heads fast, and no, not at all, they said. Completely ignoring everything else around him, except Sasuke, Kankuro smiled mischievously up at the girl. You're right, I've been a naughty boy, he teased. Sasuke frowned. Hey baby, I have an idea, Kankuro told at Sasuke. To help keep me out of trouble, why don't you come down here and give me a commentary tour of your village? We can grab some sushi later in? Not interested, Sasuke said in annoyance. Ah, come on. Don't knock it until you try it. Sushi tastes pretty good. I wasn't taking about the sushi. Well, just a little FYI, I'm tasty too. Yeah, I bet you taste like moldy cheese and 13 favors of ass, beat it. The pigtailed girl laughed. Biggest flop ever, bro. I wish I had a camera to record this and send it Kuni no Kei's funniest home video sweepstakes. Shut up, Tamari. Who asked you to comment? Kankuro growled more in embarrassment than in anger. Kankuro, Tamari, both of you stop it. You are embarrassing our village, a cold voice said suddenly, sending shivers down everyone's spines. Tamari and Kankuro seemed to have become frozen in fear as they paled horribly. Sasuke's heart skipped a beat as she gasped. A short red-haired boy was standing on the other side of the tree, upside down, with a large gourd on his back. I didn't even sense him. Sasuke thought in alarm. How long had he been here? Kankuro forced out a smile. Hey, Gaara, sorry, he greeted shakily. I was just. Shut up or I'll kill you, Gaara told him plainly. Needless to say, Kankuro's mouth clamped up. The boy named Gaara then transported himself down to the ground in a swirl of sand. Tamari quickly bowed to the shorter boy. I'm sorry too. Now the one with the gourd, I'm interested in. Sasuke said. What's your name? She asked. Everyone's jaw dropped, completely misinterpreting Sasuke's words. This girl wants Gaara? Tamari thought horrified. Poor thing, if she only knew. She picks Gaara of all people over me. TCH, Kankuro thought miserably. Gaara eyed Sasuke with a strange look on his face for several seconds. Finally he pulled himself together and answered, I am Gaara of the desert, you? With a cocky smirk, of which Kankuro depicted as sexy, Sasuke replied confidently, Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto felt strangely jealous. What does that freaky redhead have that I don't? He muttered quietly under his breath. Hey you, yeah you, don't you want to know my name? Naruto called out to him. Gaara sent him a disgusted look. Not like that, ew. Gaara repulsion turned into anger. Tamari and Kankuro visibly cringed and took a few steps away from Gaara. Never taking his eyes off him, Gaara turned to face Naruto fully. Enlighten me, what is your name? Naruto blinked. He was beginning to think it wasn't such a good idea to get this freak's attention. It's Naruto, Naruto Uzumaki. Very well, Naruto Uzumaki, Gaara nodded. I will enjoy killing you far more than I should in the Chunin exams. Naruto was taken aback. What? Completely ignoring the annoying blonde, Gaara turned to his teammates. Let's go. Hey wait, Sakura said. They turned back to stare at the pink-haired girl. What? Temari asked. What are you sand nins doing in Konoha anyway? Sakura asked them. Temari snorted. For the Chunin exam, of course. Sakura blinked. Chunin exam. You people living under a rock or something? Temari asked in disbelief. Your village is hosting it this year, how can you possibly not know? Because we have a really lazy sensei who doesn't tell anything worth piss in bucket, Naruto justified. Naruto. It's true. Sakura deflated bit. You're right, she sighed. Sasuke had to silently agree with her teammates. Besides tree climbing, they knew nothing else. Anyway, later, Temari said as she and her brothers disappeared in a cloud of smoke. What do we do now? Sakura asked. Well, I'm going to enter the Chunin exams, Sasuke answered without hesitation. The anticipation was burning a hole through her chest as she thought about facing off against Gaara and other strong opponents that might be there. But Sasuke-chan, it's bound to be dangerous. Sakura fretted. I mean, especially if Gaara of the Sand is competing. Sakura trailed off as she saw the smirk on Sasuke's lips. I know. That's why I want in, hey? Sakura looked odd. Wow, Sasuke-chan. You're taking boy chasing to a whole new level. She commended her with respect. While giggling, Sakura asked. Is he your first crush? Sasuke blinked owlishly at her. What are you talking about? Naruto growled. What's so special about him? He demanded. He looks like a damn raccoon and has no eyebrows for Kami's sake. He nearly pulled on his shaggy blonde hair. For one thing, he's stronger than you, Dobi. Sasuke said. Not to mention smarter. Aarrrgggghh. Sakura crossed her arms and cocked her head to the side. But how are we even going to enter the exam? Let's ask Kakashi-sensei about it tomorrow, Sasuke suggested. The trio agreed before parting ways. The next day, it was same old waiting game. The three genins were left to rot in the sun for nearly 4 hours before their sensei decided to show up. Hello, good morning, Kakashi said with an eye smile when he finally arrived. You're late. Naruto and Sakura yelled at Kakashi, and it's the afternoon. Sasuke shot Kakashi an annoyed glare. Hey, easy now, this time I actually have a good excuse. Kakashi said with a happy eye smile. Sakura snorted. I bet. Let me guess, you helped a poor little old lady get her cat out of the tree. Kakashi mocked a gasp. How did you know? Are you stalking me, Sakura? He asked. SENSEI. Sakura was really low on patience today. Actually, ever since she found out about Sasuke's real gender, she has been in a bad mood. I'm kidding, Kakashi said, not wanting to end up in the hospital with internal bleeding and broken bones. He cleared his throat. Now to business, before someone gets hurt. Sakura cracked her knuckles. Someone like you? I was busy this morning signing you 3 up for the Chunin exams. Huh? Sakura's anger evaporated quicker than the Nile. Really? Well, that saves us the time. That got Sasuke's undivided attention. You realize you are telling us a little too late, right? She told Kakashi. I am? Kakashi asked. We found out about the exam through Sand Nins. Well, you know now. Kakashi singed. Sasuke rolled her eyes. Kami, did she hate him at times? Anyway, here are your permission slips, Kakashi said as he handed a form to each of his students. I love you, Naruto exclaimed as he jumped up and hugged Kakashi around the neck. Hey, get down, Kakashi said as he desperately tried to peel the clingy orange-clad boy away from his person. I sure Sasuke-chan would like your hug more than me. The hell I don't, Sasuke snapped. Like I'd hug you anyway, Naruto retorted. Grumbling under his breath he added, you probably feel like sandpaper. What was that, Dobi? Speak louder, Sasuke said. Kakashi interrupted before things got hairy. Bring the signed permission slips with you to the exam. At 900 hours, Academy Building, room 302. Don't be late, got it? Okay. Naruto pumped up his fist into the air. We're entering the Chunin exams. Keep your voice down, loser. Shut up, Sasuke. Geez. Naruto sent Sasuke a sully look. I think I liked you the other way before you came out of the closet about being a girl. Now you are even bitchier than Sakura is on her purr. Finish that sentence, Naruto, and I'll send you into next week. Cha. Sakura thundered as she flexed her muscles ominously. Kakashi sighed. Maybe they're not ready for this, he thought, but then he shrugged. But then again, maybe getting their asses handed to them on a silver platter may help them grow up a bit. And if they pass, they'll make me look good. Hey sensei. What is it? Do you think you could teach us some cool moves before the Chunin exams? Naruto asked. You see, there's this really scary kid, he was Gaara of the dirt or something like that. It's Gaara of the desert, you idiot, Sasuke corrected. Geez, you remember his name well. Naruto squinted at Sasuke suspiciously. Sasuke shrugged. I can't help it if you have the memory of a goldfish. You realize that's just a myth, Rift? The memory of a goldfish can last up to 6 months. Naruto informed her. Did you know that hamsters are ones now considered to have the shortest memory spans? Huh? What's with the look? Okay. Who are you and what did you do with Naruto? Sakura demanded. Naruto pouted. I am Naruto, Sakura-chan. Congratulations, Dobi. Your intelligence has risen 2 points today. Naruto sent the brunette a tired glare. Sasuke, there are times that I really despise you. Thank you. It's not a compliment. Sakura meanwhile started to ponder what Sasuke could like about Gaara. Well, besides the crazed look in his arctic green eyes and the aura of bloodlust, Gaara is kind of cute, she admitted offhandedly. Naruto, Kakashi and Sasuke turned to look at Sakura. What? She asked. Naruto gagged dryly. You and Sasuke Teme have terrible taste in guys, Sakura-chan, he muttered with a sigh. What? Do I have to be emo or all I'm gonna kill you in your sleep type of guy just to get a girl's attention? Kakashi shook his head at young love, Cupid's arrow never struck him and he thanked the cosmos for it. Getting back business, he stroked his chin thoughtfully. Gaara of the desert you say, he remarked. Yeah, you know him? Sasuke asked. No, Kakashi half lied. He didn't know Gaara but he knew of him. Gaara was the Sans Jinchuriki. This could be dangerous, but I suppose I should teach you guys something. Let's find out your element. Depending on your element I may teach you a thing or two. Yada. Naruto cheered. Kakashi reached into his vest and pulled out 3 small square pieces of paper and gave one to each of his students. Naruto blinked in confusion. What are we going to do with these? This is paper made from a very special tree grown with chakra. It can tell you what your chakra-based element, Kakashi explained. Element. Everyone has an attribute to their chakra natures. For example, mine is lighting, which allows me to use lighting-style jutsus. To find out yours, simply channel your chakra into the paper in your hand. When you do, it will show you what your element type is. Okay, that's it, Naruto asked, surprised at the simplicity. Kakashi nodded. That's it. Do it. Naruto focused his chakra into the paper and was shocked to see it had split right down the middle. Is this supposed to happen? Mine burned, Sasuke said as she showed her hand to Kakashi. All that remained were cinders and ash. You have a fire element. No surprise really, considering that you are Uchiha, Kakashi said. Turning to his blonde-haired student, he asked, and yours split right down the middle, Naruto? Yeah, Kakashi beamed. You lucky kid, you got wind-based chakra. What is good about that? Naruto asked as he looked over, envious of Sasuke. Fire seems so much cooler than stupid wind. Naruto, wind is special. Kakashi insisted. It's able to cut without touch and can manipulate other elements. Naruto perked up, so it's more awesome than Sasuke's? Kakashi nodded. Yeah, I knew I was better than Sasuke Teme all along. Sasuke's eyebrow twitched. Just as she was about to rebuke Naruto, Kakashi said, Naruto, you may have an advantage with wind chakra, but it is most certainly not the best. If I have to say, Sasuke has better control over her element than you do yours, making her superior, for now. Naruto pouted. Sasuke smirked to herself. Take that, Dobi. Now let's see, Sakura's, Kakashi said, turning to his last student who was staring down in confusion at her palm. What's the verdict? I'm not sure. Sakura showed everyone her palm. Her piece of paper was soupy and wet. Ew, Sakura-chan. Did you spit on yours? Naruto asked. It got all soggy on its own, idiot, Sakura snapped. Sakura, you have the water element, Kakashi told her. That's something. I thought you were earth-based. Well, now that we know our elements, now what? Sakura asked. Well, I was going to teach you guys some simple D-rank jutsu pertaining to them but, haha. Kakashi scratched the back of his head uneasily. Well, none of you have my element, which is lighting, so I got nothing you can learn in a day, sorry. His 3 students palmed their foreheads. You suck, sensei. What a waste of time, can we go home now? Fine, off you go, Kakashi said. But remember, Academy Building, room 302 at 900 hours, Yane. In a puff of smoke he was gone. Deflated a bit, the Genins went their separate ways. Sakura was almost home when she heard a voice call out to her from behind. PS's, Sakura. Hold up a sec. Startled, Sakura looked back to see Kakashi standing behind her. What is it, Kakashi-sensei? She asked. I wanted to give you something. I have some D and C ranked water jutsu that may be useful and you probably can master it in a day or two. Sakura was intrigued but then she asked, wait, why didn't you say something before? Kakashi shrugged. I just thought about it, he lied. He just didn't want to give jutsu to one student and not the others. Naruto would pester him to death and Sasuke. Sasuke would probably get jealous and that would cause huge problems down the line. He knew how viciously competitive girls could be and he didn't want to pull apart any catfights. Thank you very much. Sakura analyzed him a bit. Okay, she said uncertainly. Well, what is it? Kakashi pulled a scroll out of his pocket and handed it to Sakura. There are several jutsus are on this scroll, but the main one I want you to learn is called Water Aperture no Jutsu because it may come in handy. It helps you secrete water out of your body in large amounts. Sakura's excitement flattered. In an almost disappointed tone, she asked, how can something like that be useful? Well, what if you were poisoned by powder, or your opponent uses a fire jutsu against you and had no time to evade? Kakashi said. Water aperture will significantly reduce your damage. Okay, if you should say so, Sakura said. Kakashi sent her a look. It will help, Sakura. Right, come on, have a little faith, Kakashi said cheerily. Sakura half-heartedly took the scroll. With a lackluster sensei you Kakashi, it's non-existent, she sighed before walking away. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Wow, my students think so highly me, oh joy. Maybe I'll feel better after reading Icha Paradise Volume 17 tonight. The next morning, Team 7 met up at the entrance of the academy building before going inside. Sasuke was particularly pleased that Sakura had showed up. The girl had been rather nervous about it, especially knowing who was competing in the exams. The Sand team was probably the first of many strong opponents they will have to face. A shiver ran down Sasuke's spine. Her senses were just tingling with excitement at the thought. It was time to show these wannabes what a true Uchiha can do. The hallway on the second floor was really crowded. Oh come on, let us through, someone shouted in the crowd. Hey, what's going on? Sasuke asked a nearby kid. The guy turned to her and said, those two genins up there are blocking the way into the examination room. Sasuke looked up toward the front. With her Sharingan, Sasuke was able to see past the illusion easily. It was actually two Chunins using a genjutsu. Two kids near the door were getting their butts handed to them by two other Chunins in disguise. Give it up, you two can't be ninja. Oh please, let us through, the girl with buns in her hair pleaded. Only to be ruthlessly pushed aside. Get lost, one said. Yeah, weaklings like you can't pass anyhow, the other said. With a self-assured smirk on her face, Sasuke walked up to the pair and said, enough with your tricks and move out of my way. Turning to her teammate she asked, Sakura, you noticed, did you? Sakura jumped a little. Why yes. This is the second floor. Remove the genjutsu already. The duo smirked a little before complying and they teleported from the scene. Sheepishly, others groups began to clear out muttering things like, oh, I knew that of course, I was just pretending not to notice. The girl with buns in her hair got up from the ground and glared at Sasuke. Way to go. Now we have more people to deal with. Was it such a coincidence that all her bruises and scraps were magically gone? Unlike you I can handle the pressure, Sasuke said. Tenten, what are you doing? A boy asked suddenly. Walking up to the bun-haired girl was a boy. He had long brown hair tied back into a loose ponytail, porcelain skin and large pale eyes. I thought you wanted to keep a low profile and weed out the competition. Well, me and Lee were just doing that until they showed up. Tenten motioned to Sasuke, Sakura and Naruto. You there, the lovely brunette, a voice said. Sasuke turned to see a green monstrosity. It was the same pathetic kid that was being kicked around by those two Chunins in disguise earlier. It was amazing how all those scoff marks suddenly vanished from his face and clothing too. More actors, Greet. What do you want? Sasuke asked disinterestedly. The boy smiled lovingly at her and winked. The very sight of the wink sent a disgusted shiver down Sasuke's spine. I am Rock Lee, please be my girlfriend and go out with me, he said giving the big thumbs up. Sasuke's jaw dropped in horror. Naruto burst out laughing. Sakura was just as brain dead as Sasuke was. Well? Lee asked again. No way, in hell. Sasuke stressed each vowel to him as her eye twitched violently. Ah, but why not? Lee asked disappointed. For one thing, I don't date weak guys who wear spandex and have bowl-cut hairstyles. Lee groaned dejectedly. Ah, I know you. You are Uchiha Sasuke, Neji said. He walked up to Sasuke. I know you too, Hyuga Neji. Your father tried to arrange a marriage contact between us, Sasuke said evenly. The boy looked sheepish for a moment before he hid it. My uncle actually, Neji corrected her. Sasuke shrugged uncaringly. It never would have worked out anyway. You are defiantly not my type, she said. A vein pulsed on Neji's head. It wasn't my choice to begin with, he spat back. Even though he wasn't in a hurry to marry, he was still offended that this girl didn't want him. It was an honor to be asked to wed into the Hyuga lineage as it was, and not only that, he was Neji Hyuga, the rising prodigy of the clan, and she casted it aside like it was nothing. Tenten snorted in amusement. It was rare to see her comrade get owned. She stiffened her chuckles when she saw Neji glaring back at her. So what is your type, Sasuke-chan? Naruto asked mischievously. None of your business. Sasuke snapped. As she walked by, she made sure to step on Naruto's toes as she passed. I'm leaving, she announced over Naruto's yelp of pain. Naruto and Sakura followed Sasuke out of the hall, which led them to an even larger room. Man, there are some real freaks competing this year, Sasuke muttered under her breath, but Naruto heard her. Are you including yourself, Teme? Naruto asked. Sasuke's eyebrow ticked. As she was about to retort, a voice ranged out. Wait please, the one who had rejected me. The raven-haired looked back. You again? Sasuke said. It was the same weirdo in the green jumpsuit she had ditched in the hallway earlier. It was Rocky, no Rock Lee. What do you want now, freak? She asked, annoyed. I would like to challenge you to a match, Sasuke-san, Lee declared. If I win, will you go on a date with me? Sakura shrieked in horror at the mere idea. Naruto suddenly looked outraged. Sasuke had said no to him 5 minutes ago, couldn't he take a hike already? No she won't, he snapped at Lee. Get lost already. When a girl says, no, she means it. Ow. Why did you hit me, Sakura? You should take your own advice, Baka, Sakura yelled at him. You continue to ask me out even though I said, no, 1,000 times. Sasuke smirked up at Lee. TCH, I'll even wear a dress on our date, she answered. What? Naruto and Sakura yelled in disbelief. Lee whooped, yes. But if you lose? Sasuke added quickly. You can't enter the Chunin exam, she challenged with a conceited smirk. Lee clutched his fist as fat tears rolled down his cheeks. Such temptation, such passion, but alas, my heart cannot be denied, he said dramatically. I accept your challenge, Sasuke-san. Sasuke smirked. Bring it. Hell no, Naruto shouted angrily as he got in between them. Don't give yourself to bushy brows, he yelled at Sasuke. Sasuke narrowed her eyes. So, you don't think I'll win? She asked Naruto, offended. You there, please stay out of this, Lee tried to say politely to Naruto. I won't, Naruto yelled in defiance as he ran toward Lee in a rage. It was over before anyone could blink. Lee had simply tripped Naruto. The poor boy had landed on his face and collided with the wall behind him. Naruto, Sakura said in alarm, wondering if her impetuous, idiot teammate was okay. Sasuke glared at Naruto's crumpled form. Stay out of it, Dobi. I have something I want to test anyway. Fine. Naruto shouted, sitting down cross-legged out of the way. Go ahead and fight him, I hope you lose. Don't wish bad luck on Sasuke-chan. Sakura shunned him. Naruto snorted. With a defiant look on his face, he cuffed his hands around his mouth and yelled, in fact, I hope she marries him and produce hundreds of bushy unibrow babies. Sakura visibly shuddered. She wouldn't wish that on no one. Ew, Naruto. She blanched in utter revulsion at the mental picture. If Sasuke was any less dignified, she would have puked at the idea of spawning children with this green-clad freak. Instead, she settled on wrinkling her nose in distaste. Lee, however, had a blush on his cheeks with a faraway look in his eyes. Oh, it's too much to hope for. Leave me out of your fantasies, Sasuke said as she charged Lee. Charging is not suitable for you, Lee muttered. He smoothly dodged Sasuke's fist but failed to see her rounding kick. Sasuke had knocked the legs right from under him. Looking down at Lee, Sasuke asked innocently, what were you saying? Go Sasuke-chan. Sakura cheered, bouncing up and down. Beat the freak down, yeah. You don't have to be so mean, Lee told Sakura as he got up from the ground. This is after all a fair competition. Go fuzzy brows. Naruto cheered. He had transformed in his female form Naruto and began to jump up and down in an orange cheerleading outfit with matching pom-poms. Hurry up and put Sasuke in her place, under you, ow. That's just repulsive, you jerk, Sakura yelled at Naruto as she bashed his head in. Naruto groaned as poofed back into his real form. He knelt down and nursed his injury. Sasuke gritted her teeth. She made a mental note to punch Naruto into oblivion later, but for now, she threw a punch at Lee. This time Lee saw the hit and the deceptive kick to follow and dodged it effectively. What? Sasuke exclaimed aloud. I am a quick study, Sasuke-san. Lee said. Now, reverse leaf whirlwind. Not expecting the blow, Sasuke fell back into the ground with a hard thud. Sasuke-chan. Sakura yelled. You didn't have to hit her that hard, you jerk, Naruto yelled angrily. Forgive me, Lee said, regretting his actions too. Sasuke got up. Now let's take this match up a notch, she said cockily. Her eyes were different. They were blood red and spinning. Sakura gasped happily. She did it. Sasuke-chan discovered the Sharingan. Shurenwa? Naruto asked. Sakura rolled her eyes at Naruto's ignorance. Sharingan. She corrected him. The spinning eye that is able to see past any genjutsu and able to record ninjutsu and perform it by just watching once, she explained impatiently. Wow, Naruto mumbled in amazement, but then he growled. Stupid Sasuke. Always having the upper hand. Lee chuckled. He felt like kid in a candy store. Not only could he finally test his skill against the legendary Sharingan, but he was one step away from dating the heart-throb of Konoha. Now, at last the Sharingan. I will prove to you three today that a genius doesn't have to come from a Kekkei Genkei. You will feel the power from a genius of hard work, Lee declared passionately. The room went quiet. What are you blabbering about? Sakura asked uncaringly. I come. Lee began to charge at Sasuke. Sasuke stood ready. Yes, come loser, what? Lee caught her off guard completely as he suddenly appeared behind her. Sasuke couldn't see anything like she had before with the mist ninja. Why? I will end this quickly, Lee whispered into her ear. One kick sent Sasuke flying. Sasuke-chan. Sakura yelled as ran forward and barely caught the raven-haired girl in time. Wah! Sasuke-teme lost? Naruto asked disbelieving. He then snorted. And here was I thinking Sharingan was all that and a side order of fish cakes. It's so overrated. Rock Lee felt like he was on top of the world. Yes, I've won, he cheered. How did you? Sasuke stammered. I simply used only taijutsu. No ninjutsu or genjutsu. Lee explained. Now then, on to more important matters like, what time should I pick you up tonight? Where do you want to go? Would you like roses or carnations? Naruto and Sakura sweat dropped. I'm not done, Sasuke said as she shakily stood up. You won't need to rent a tuxedo after I win. Lee frowned. I do not wish to hurt you, Sasuke-san. I advise you to withdraw or I will have to get serious, he warned. Sasuke and Sakura froze. Serious? You're not seriously fighting, Sasuke-chan? Sakura asked in disbelief. Just how strong is this guy? Lee offered the two a gentle smile. I wish not to mangle my date, please, especially her lovely porcelain face. Sasuke was insulted to the fullest, as if someone had taken the Uchiha clan symbol and wiped their butt with it. Fight me for real, she roared angrily. The bushy-eyebrowed boy looked at Sasuke remorsefully. Reluctantly Lee began to unwrap the bandages around his arm. If you insist, Sasuke-san, I will not deny you anything. Enough. A voice roared out. You have won the match already, Lee, there's no need to continue. A cloud of smoke filled the room. When it cleared, a man, an older clone of Lee, stood proudly on the back of a ninja turtle. Hello everybody, how's it shaking? He greeted cheerfully. Life treating you good? Sasuke, Sakura and Naruto were horrified and screamed at the sight. Oh my kami, blasphemy. Sakura and Naruto screamed in unison. Sasuke twitched uncontrollably. The spandex, that haircut, the horror, no, Sakura yelled, turning her eyes away, she could feel them burning. Man, he has even bushier eyebrows than bushy brows here, Naruto stated the obvious. Lee turned on him with an enraged face. Don't you dare insult Gai-sensei. Lee, attention, Gai-sensei said. I understand these manly urges you're having, but you forget you are in the middle of a Chunin exam. Your teammates are waiting for you at the door. Lee gasped. Forgive me. I will go to them now. He turned toward Sasuke. I will look forward to our date, Sasuke-san. Sasuke growled. Wait a moment. Naruto shouted suddenly after Lee. Yes. I want to wager with you, Naruto said. We will fight later. If I win, you will let Sasuke go. If you win, Sasuke will date you for a week. Stay out of this, Naruto, Sasuke yelled. You can always count on Naruto to add the frosting on the cake. I don't need your help, you idiot. Naruto looked down at Sasuke. Could have proved me wrong, he stated evenly. Lee nodded. I accept your challenge. Who are you again? Naruto looked indignant. Puffing out his chest he said, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, soon-to-be winner of the Chunin exams and the future Hokage of Konoha. Right, Lee said slowly. Well anyway, I accept, Naruto-kun. May the best man win Sasuke-san's heart. Farewell my moon goddess, he said and ran off. Sasuke stood up and walked over to Naruto. She looked at the blonde angrily for a moment before bopping him side the head. Ow! Naruto cried. What was that for? 1. For cheering for that freak. 2. Ow! Stop hitting me. That's for causing me to date with that freak for a week. Sasuke finished. Hey, I haven't lost, not yet, Sakura exclaimed. You are too weak, Naruto. Now Sasuke-chan will have to date Lee not once but for 7 days. Oh Kami the horror. Geez. Have a little faith in me already, Naruto shouted angrily. I won't lose, believe it. Sasuke and Sakura rolled their eyes. Yes you will, miserably, they both said simultaneously. Hey, excuse me. Guy-sensei interrupted the trio. I advise you three to get to the examination room ASAP. You have 4 minutes left before they lock the doors. Sakura gasped. We have to hurry, thank you, sir. As Team 7 made their way to room 302, they spotted their silver-haired sensei leaning against the door while reading his perverted little book. Hey, what you doing here, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked, surprised. Glancing up, Kakashi sent his 3 students an eye smile. Good. You all came, he snapped his book shut. I'm glad to see that. Sakura raised her eyebrows. What do you mean by that? She asked. Well, this exam is optional. What? Sakura exclaimed furiously. You didn't mention earlier that the exam was optional. She roared with fire in her eyes. Kakashi backed away a little. His little kunoichi in training was turning into a real spitfire lately. Now, let me finish. It's true that it was optional, but it must be taken as a team of 3. If one of you chose not to come, the others would be prevented from entering, Kakashi explained. I wanted each of you to make that decision on your own. Then we almost struck out, Sasuke thought to herself. She remembered how disheartened and worried Sakura was about taking the exam but came anyway because she didn't want to disappoint her teammates. Anyway, good luck, said Kakashi as he pushed them into the next room. Inside here are a lot of shinobi from several different countries, make Konoha proud. As they were shoved into a room filled with hostile genin, Team 7 instantly knew how 3-year-olds felt when they were left to languish in a daycare center. The Chunin wannabes in there looked downright mean and on the verge of cracking at any moment. Some even looked intimidating, like the guy that was wrapped up like a mummy with a fur pelt on his back. I'm starting to think Sasuke Teme was right, Naruto remarked suddenly. There are a lot of freaks here. You better watch who are calling freaks, Naruto. A voice yelled. It was furious-looking Ino along with her 2 teammates, Shikamaru Nara and Choji Akamichi, coming toward them. In my defense, Naruto pointed to Sasuke, she said at first. Sasuke rolled her eyes. Hey, it's that Uchiha girl again, Kankuro muttered, noticing the commotion near the front of the classroom. Tamari noticed how Kankuro's eyes lit up at the sight of her. Holding in a snort, Tamari rolled her eyes. Keep dreaming, lil bro, she's so not into you, she said. Kankuro puffed out his chest, she just doesn't know it yet. Ha! Tamari laughed. You're in denial. No, I'm not. You are, you woman repellent, Tamari snapped finally. Woman repellent. Hey, I'm not, Kankuro said indignantly. At least I can get a girl. You never dated a guy in your life, he shot back. That's not true, Tamari shouted a little flustered. Yes, it is. No, it's N. Both of you shut up, a low-pitched monotone voice commanded them quietly. The 2 turned to glance at their younger psychotic brother fearfully. Sorry Gaara. Both Tamari and Kankuro apologized immediately before zipping it. They made sure to scoot their chairs an extra foot away from the redhead just in case. Come to think of it, I almost got some dates until they found out Gaara was my brother, Tamari thought sourly. What? You have a date with Uchiha-san? Neji asked disbelievingly. Lee beamed triumphantly. Yes, as soon as the Chunin exams are over, I will date Sasuke Uchiha. Tenten didn't like the scheming smirk that suddenly appeared on Neji's lips. Lee, I challenge you, he declared. If I get paired off against you in these exams and win, I take your place for the date, Neji bargained. What? Tenten asked disbelievingly at Neji's request. Indeed Neji. Why should I wager my date with the radiant beauty, Sasuke-san? Lee asked with a frown. Are you backing down from my challenge, Lee? How unyouthful as you always put it, or better yet, are you just afraid you may lose to me as always? Neji taunted him. He knew Lee could never turn down a challenge. Hook, line, and sinker. In order to defend his pride, Lee was about to accept when Tenten offered an idea. Neji could wear Lee's spandex for a month if he loses, she said. Neji looked horrified. What? He cried. I wouldn't be caught dead in that monstrosity. Agreed. Lee said quickly before Neji could disagree. Be warned, my rival, this time I will not lose. Tenten. Neji growled under his breath. The weapon mistress shrugged. What are you worried about? You're a genius. I can't even beat you, much less Lee, Tenten reasoned. Overhearing his teammate, Lee declared passionately. Well, I will triumph this time, I even have a new jutsu specially preserved for Neji. Huh? Neji and Tenten looked up surprised. A new jutsu, you say, what is it? Neji asked, not really expecting an answer. Unsurprisingly, Lee didn't answer but gave him his signature grin with a big thumb up. It's a surprise. You must wait and see, Lee said. Neji narrowed his eyes slightly, he never really liked surprises. Saw Sasuke-kun, Ino sniffled. She held the ends of Sasuke's shirt as she cried. Why? Why after all these years you have deceived me? I loved you, I really loved you. Sasuke frowned. Great, another ex-fangirl, that's all she needed. As Sasuke peeled off Ino's clammy hands, she answered uncaringly, I didn't trick you. You just assumed I was a boy. That's not my problem. Shikamaru scratched his head. Well, that would make sense why you were never interested in the girls in class, then he shrugged. Not that I blame you, most of them were pretty annoying. Especially Ino. Shut up, Shikamaru, Ino screeched. She would have backhanded the boy if he was any closer. Hey, it looks like the gang's all here. Another group came up. It was Team 8 under Kurenai Yuhi. They were Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame and Hinata Hyuga. When Sasuke saw Hinata, she absently wondered if the girl was related to Neji. Kiba surprised Sasuke when he suddenly invaded the Ravenhead's intimate space. He sniffed her inquisitively. Now completely annoyed, Sasuke came close to socking the dog boy in the nose. Luckily for Kiba, Naruto had wisely intervened. Heel boy, Sasuke's in a bitchy mood. I wouldn't be sniffing her right now if I was you, Naruto warned. Don't treat me like a dog, Dobi, Kiba snapped. Then don't act like one, mutt, Naruto replied just as easily. Kiba moved back and sent Sasuke a suspicious look. How were you able to hide your scent away from me all those years at the academy? Girls and guys smell different due to hormones. You smelled like a guy back then, but now. Oh, I'm sorry, you must have gotten confused, Sasuke said sympathetically. And believe me, that's pretty easy for a bonehead like you. Watch it, Uchiha, Kiba growled. I don't like fighting girls, but I may make an exception for a crossdresser like you. Well, at least your mannerisms are the same, Shino told Sasuke quietly. That's true to the T, Kiba grumbled. HMPH, still a jerk. Hi na Naruto-kun, Hinata greeted her secret crush. Hiya Hinata. Naruto greeted her happily, at last, a friendly face. Hinata beamed. Her cheeks turning from pale to scarlet in a matter of seconds. You know, you guys should quiet down, it isn't some academy reunion, you know. A young man with silver hair pulled back into a short stocky ponytail and wearing dorky bug-eyed spectacles, strolled forward. Ino, already in a bad mood, snapped. Oh Buzz, off, who do you think you are? The name's Kabuto and I'm doing you newbies a favor. He pointed to the participants sitting behind the desk. You see them? They're going to blow a gasket if you guys keep it on. This isn't preschool, just settle down already. He then shrugged. Not like I blame you, I used to be a lot like you guys. He glanced at the group. His eyes widened a bit when his sight landed on Sasuke. I see you bear the Uchiha symbol and have the trademark black coal eyes and hair. I thought Sasuke Uchiha was the only survivor in Konoha, Kabuto remarked. I am Sasuke Uchiha, the brunette replied. Sliver eyebrows shot up. You're Sasuke Uchiha? Kabuto asked in disbelief. Sasuke narrowed her eyes a bit. Yeah, what of it? Sasuke answered with a question. Kabuto scratched the back of his head sheepishly. Well, nothing, it's just that I thought the Uchiha survivor was a boy. Not that it's any of your business, but that lie was projected as a way to protect myself, Sasuke said simply. But I couldn't hide it any longer. Blame puberty. Well yes, may I say that you are pretty? Kabuto said blushingly. So I've been told. Do you have a boyfriend? Not interested? Sasuke shut him down quickly. Of course. Kabuto replied humbly. Naruto nudged Kabuto in the side. Trust me, you don't want to date Sasuke, he said. She can be a real pain just as a teammate. Dude, can you imagine being her boyfriend? Between suitors, ex-fangirls and perverts, not to mention her bitchy attitude, you'll be dead by the end of the week. Sasuke's eye twitched. Shut up, Dobi. Unfortunately, she couldn't disagree with the blonde. So she had an attitude, so what? She was in no hurry to settle down anyway. She had a contract to keep with the Death Kami. Once she killed that Madara guy, there will be plenty of men lined up to marry her. Regardless of how unpleasant she could be. As far as she counted it, part of the charm. A smoke bomb went off near the front. Settle down you WROTHLESS brats. What the? When the smoke cleared, there stood a team of examiners. The head of group spoke up. Thanks for waiting, I am Ibiki Morino, the examiner for the first test of the Chunin exams. A sadistic smirk sliced across his face. Let us begin. A little over 3 hours later, Team 7 found themselves traveling through the Forest of Death for the second part of the exam. They had some pretty rotten luck so far. Naruto started things off on the wrong foot when he managed to piss off the second exam proctor, Anko. The crazy bitch had silted his cheek and had the nerve to lick his blood. Sick. Once they got into the forest. After signing death warrants, of course, they got ambushed by a group from the Hidden Mist village. They managed to defeat them, but unfortunately the scroll was the wrong one. To add a cherry on top, the bastards got away. If I see those bastards again. Naruto threatened no one in particular. He was not having an enjoyable afternoon at all. This sucks. Just sucks, complained Naruto loudly for the 50th time that day. We know it does, so shut up already, idiot, Sasuke hissed. We don't want the other teams to ambush us in our sleep. Sasuke landed on a lower branch. Naruto dropped down next to her. Yeah, he said, waving her off. Sakura landed next to Naruto. We need to get food and collect some firewood, she suggested logically. Sasuke nodded. Let's keep going until we find a dense area to rest, Ak. The branch beneath them suddenly cracked under their combined weight and gave out. Sasuke managed to land on another branch only for that one to give out also due to its thinness. Sasuke let out a cry of surprised pain when her butt collided with the hard ground 6 feet below. Naruto jumped down with Sakura in his arms. Thanks, Naruto, but maybe you should have caught Sasuke instead. I mean, it would have been a longer fall. Naruto tossed a glance at Sasuke before scoffing. Oh please. Sasuke Teme can take care of herself. Besides, she's not really a normal girl. He grinned at Sakura. Unlike you, Sakura-chan. Sakura glared at Naruto. Are you implying I'm weak? Nope, just womanlike. Sasuke huffed as she stood up and dusted off her clothes. She rubbed her sore behind with a scowl on her face. One would have thought she was angry, but if they looked closely they could tell she was hurt more than angry. Stupid hormones. She couldn't understand why she felt the way she did. Sasuke. Naruto suddenly cried out. Leave me alone, Naruto. Sasuke grumbled irritably. Sasuke. I said leave me alone. Dobi. Move, Sasuke. Naruto yelled. Move. Gah. If Sasuke didn't have her Sharingan, a giant snake would have swallowed her. Sasuke managed to elude it by doing a backflip and sticking to a higher tree. Mentally she gave points to Kakashi for barely teaching her how to walk up trees with chakra. Naruto and Sakura followed her lead by getting off the ground. Where did that come from? Sakura screamed. The snake opened its mouth and out of the saliva arose a disturbing figure, almost feminine in appearance but something not quite human. Sasuke-kun, the woman hummed. Ew. What the hell is that? Naruto asked, somewhat disgusted but definitely freaked out. Freddy Cougar's hillbilly cousin? Sasuke winced. Everything about this woman was unpleasant. Her eyes, her fingers, the way she cocked her head. That long greasy black hair along with that unnaturally wide smirk. It was all totally repulsive and downright evil. Sasuke's first instinct was to run. Sensing what Sasuke was about to do, the woman chided, Now, boy, you cannot go anywhere. She pulsed out killer vibrations. The blast of killing intent froze Sasuke to the core. She's too strong. We're going to die here, the brunette thought frantically. Sasuke. Get out there, Naruto screamed to no avail. It was as if Sasuke could not even hear him. Naruto growled in frustration. Sasuke was frozen like a deer in headlights. He had to do something for the Teme, he reasoned. She was wide open. Sakura. Naruto yelled to his teammate. Sakura meanwhile was shaking in her sandals. She managed snapped out of her stupor when she heard Naruto call her name. What? Back me up. Naruto demanded as he charged forward. Sakura still looked terrified but shakily got into position. She swallowed. Right, she agreed in a voice that sounded far stronger than she was. She pulled out her kunai and deflected most of the ones the creepy snake women threw at Naruto as he charged forward. Unfortunately, some of them slipped through and punctured Naruto on the shoulders, but that did not seem to slow Naruto down. I see, you are protective of Sasuke-kun, the grass nin said in amusement. Tell me, Naruto. How much is Sasuke-kun worth to you? She asked. Enough to not let a pedophile like you have your way with her, Naruto shouted. The woman seemed pleased with Naruto's answer. Fascinating, very well, follow her wherever I may take him. The grass nin shot past Naruto and went straight for Sasuke. I won't let you hurt her, Naruto screamed furiously. Shadow clone jutsu. The strange woman sent Naruto a questioning look. This was the second time the boy had shouted, her, instead of him. Out loud she questioned it, her, why do you keep referring Sasuke-kun as a girl? Naruto didn't seem to hear grass nin as she continued to pummel her, preventing her with all his might from reaching Sasuke. The snake woman was beginning to lose her patience. You are becoming a nuisance, the woman growled. Ah, well thank you, Naruto said cheekily. The snake woman narrowed her eyes dangerously. It's not a compliment. Her cheeks bulged and she spat out a yellow sticky mucus. Naruto had no time to evade it and was caught in a web of stickiness, pinned against a tree. The woman opened her mouth again and this time a giant sword appeared. So long, Nine Tails. Stop. Let him go. A voice screamed out. Sasuke held out her scroll. Put my teammate down and in return you get our scroll, she bargained. No Sasuke-chan. Sakura screamed suddenly, don't do it. The Dobi couldn't even lay a hit. Why should we even try? Sasuke reasoned, hoping Sakura would understand. Sakura looked incredulously at Sasuke for a moment before bellowing, well at least Naruto tried Sasuke-chan. Do you even realize Naruto got hurt because he was trying to protect a coward like you? Her response startled Sasuke. Ichi what? She asked. When you were too terrified to even move Naruto defended us in our scroll, Sakura yelled. And now you are just going to give it up? She asked disbelievingly. Right, Sasuke inhaled deeply. She knew there wasn't much she could do but she had to try. Maybe if she could use her fire jutsu, they may just stand a chance but the grass ninja was too quick and too crafty, like a snake. She would evade her attacks easily every time unless there was a way of restraining her. Sasuke thought about that invisible wire she had in her bag. Perfect. It was a fool's chance but for Naruto's sake and for the sake of getting through the exam alive Sasuke charged forward. As she ran, Sasuke aligned the area with trap wire. My turn, the lady chuckled ominously. Sasuke snorted. What are you, in preschool? The slivery glare of a sharp blade caught the attention of Sasuke's Sharingan eye. She leapt back just as the hit came. It slashed through her shirt but luckily it had missed piercing her flesh by a centimeter. The cut had even severed the strap of her black bra, which pissed Sasuke off. She did not want to go bra shopping again. She had to go to nearly 5 stores to find the perfect one and with one swish of a sword it was destroyed? Such insolence, the woman said. Sasuke's chest was nearly exposed. Sasuke turned toward the grass nin, not bothered to trying to cover herself. The creepy nin took notice of the raven's bulbous breast in surprise. Naruto blushed horribly as he noticed the glory of Sasuke's pale, perky breast. He finally just closed his eyes to stop goggling at his teammate. Sakura's jaw dropped. No way. Her boobs are even bigger and a mine. Yeah. It's not fair, she lamented. She patted her flat chest. When will my time come? She cried out to no one in particular. The woman raised her thin eyebrows high. You are female. Thanks for telling me something I already know, Sasuke said shortly. Take this. Dragon line, fire jutsu. The grass nin's eyes widened when she noticed the cord attached to her person but it was too late when she burst into a combustion. Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura were expecting a scream of agony but no such thing. The sickening smell of burning flesh hung in the air as the smoke cleared, and the woman was still standing. Sasuke stumbled back in fear. There was no way. How did the woman survive much less have the strength to stand? Ha, 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 ha. You are his sister, indeed, the woman said happily. She peeled off her burnt skin to reveal a man's face not much different in appearance. His thin pasty face held the same hungering look it made Sasuke want to turn and vomit. I am very pleased with our encounter. We will meet again, Sasuke-chan, in a more private engagement. Heh. Sasuke shuddered, not wanting to know the hidden meaning behind that statement. Sakura and Naruto made a face. Pedophile. They thought simultaneously. But before I go, the man turned an unpleasant eye on the entangled Naruto. I will leave him with a gift, before anyone could even move. Orochimaru had stretched his neck 1,000 times its natural length and bit Naruto on the left shoulder with his snake-like fangs. Naruto. Sasuke and Sakura screamed in horror. Naruto cried out in pain at the unexpected piercing. After a moment Orochimaru let go. Heh. I doubt you will survive, Naruto-kun. Then again you may. There is a 1 in 10 chance. I am looking forward to the results. Orochimaru began to sink into the ground. Farewell children, he said, and he was gone. Naruto meanwhile was screaming bloody murder as he thrashed about futilely. Hold on, Naruto, Sakura said as she and Sasuke hurriedly cut him down from the mucus snake goo and laid him out on the ground. Oh my Kami, what did that freak did to him? Sakura cried in alarm as she looked at the angry red bite mark. Above it was some sort of black seal. Sasuke didn't know what it was, but she knew one thing: it vibrated sinister energies. Sasuke was currently wondering if she had crossed paths with a black cat recently. Sasuke tried to mend her Uchiha shirt to no avail. Finally she just gathered the loose ends of the shirt and tied them together across her breast. It looked like a skimpy beach top, but it was the only modesty she could get for now. Sakura watched Sasuke out of the corner of her eye. Sasuke reminded Sakura of an exotic Amazon warrior princess. Beautiful, powerful and deadly, all the things she was not. Sasuke and Naruto had fought Orochimaru. She didn't, she was useless, and now, no. No more self-pity rants. Sakura took out the scroll Kakashi gave her. She had learned several D-ranked water jutsus yesterday as instructed. Maybe she could master the rest before they reached the tower. Sakura was determined as she read through the steps for the water glacier jutsu. It happened to be the only B-ranked jutsu on the scroll and potentially offensive to help defend her teammates. How's Naruto? Sasuke asked, calling Sakura out of her studies. Still out I'm afraid, and running a fever, Sakura answered worriedly. She gently touched the strange mark that creepy woman left behind on Naruto's neck. Sasuke felt exceedingly sorry. It was all her fault that Naruto got hurt. Freezing up like a coward back there, Sasuke inwardly growled. For Kami's sake, she was the last of the Uchiha clan. She had to be stronger than this, or else she would never kill Itachi and Madara or resurrect the clan. In the middle of her self-pity rant, Sasuke noticed the seal on Naruto's neck starting to glow red. What? Sakura lurched back a little. What is happening? Get up, you lazy buffoon. I said get up, an urgent gruff voice commanded. Naruto moaned. His whole body ached. Get up already, damn it, the voice roared. Naruto sat up in alarm. Huh? What? He then noticed he was in a sewer. A dark, dank, moldy, wet sewer. Ew! Naruto shrieked like a girl as he jumped up from the damp ground immediately. Hurry up and give me temporary control of your chakra network. Naruto then noticed where the voice was coming from. A giant cage was set before him. Who are you? Naruto asked. He could see the outline of a great beast sitting imprisoned behind those bars. The great Kyuubi no Kitsune. Now get over here, you little worm. Hurry. Cautiously Naruto eased forward. You see that? The fox pointed his muzzle in the direction of the walls. Naruto was horrified. Disgusting fat purplish veins covered the walls, gripping and pulsing. What was even scarier was that they were multiplying rapidly. What the hell is that thing? Naruto said aghast. That monstrosity is like a virus trying to bond with our chakras. The fox answered. Quickly. We must work together in order to get rid of it. If we wait, their residence will become a permanent part of our chakra networks. How do we get rid of it? We'll force our chakra out through its core. The chakra point in your shoulder where it first was planted by that drag-looking freak. Kyuubi said. In essence, we burn it off. How do I know this is not a scheme to get out of jail for free? Naruto asked. The fox growled in exasperation. Look kid, it's either you team up with me or you make room for that. Let's get started, Mr. Fox. Naruto please wake up. We don't know what's happening. Sakura shook the boy desperately. Sakura, get back. Sasuke ran forward and jerked her pink-haired teammate away. Not a second sooner and Sakura would have been scorched by the red chakra that suddenly cloaked Naruto's body. Sakura and Sasuke let out a yelp. As the chakra flared out, going completely haywire. After a moment, the chakra died down and receded back into Naruto's chakra network. Hesitantly Sakura asked, Is he safe? Sasuke activated her Sharingan. I think so, her eyes widen. Hey. What is it? Sakura asked urgently. The mark, that purple chakra, I don't see it anymore, Sasuke explained. Whatever that other chakra was, it burned off the other. There was a moan. Naruto opened his eyes weakly. Naruto. Is the M mark gone? Naruto asked faintly. Sakura edged forward and looked at back of his neck. Her eyes widened in surprise. Yeah, it's gone, whatever you did, it got rid of the mark. That's amazing, Naruto, she answered happily. Great. Hey, Sakura-chan, is Sasuke okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Sasuke answered for herself. She leaned over so Naruto could see her. Naruto's face relaxed. Great, that's great, he whispered relieved. He then passed out cold. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura shouted. Thanks for watching, also remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.